So, welcome in to the first ever episode of from the Undead Celluloid Society. My name is Michael,
My name is Rachel.
and today we are going to cover the movie from 1980, New Year's Evil. So, before we do that, since this is our first ever podcast, we are going to kind of just go through the structure of how we're going to do things. We're not going to go, starting off, we're not going to go frame by frame through the movie. We're going to give like a small synopsis. Then we're going to kind of give our thoughts about different things. That's kind of when we'll delve into spoilers a little bit. But our plan is not to spoil the whole movie for everybody. And then we're going to do our rating, our ratings that we have that's kind of unique. We're going to base our ratings on vacations. You'll get a kind of an example of that when we actually get to that. It kind of may sound a little bit confusing now, but yeah. So that's kind of the structure we're going to do going forward. This is going to be a podcast about lower budget movies. It's not. We're our goal is to cover the stuff that people don't like to cover.
Yeah, lower budget horror movies.
So that's kind of our goal. So yeah, that's our structure. Yeah, this is going to be our podcast, Undead Celluloid Society, or UC Society is for abbreviation. So get it there, UC, like we're watching movies. But yeah, so New Year's Evil. This is a movie about a DJ. Apparently, she doesn't really seem like a DJ to me. She seems like a radio TV show host, but that's what Wikipedia is telling us. And she's a bit of a narcissist. This is a lady that runs a really weird show that's kind of off the wall with like punks and stuff.
Yeah, punk rock, like 80s punk rock.
And she starts getting these phone calls about people from this guy that wants to like murder a naughty girl every different time zone of midnight. So it's like
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, on New Year's Eve. So they're in LA, so he starts murdering starting at the Eastern time zone, and then just every hour on the hour he's murdering another person. There's a lot of weird stuff with this movie, but yeah, that's kind of the plot synopsis of it. But Rachel, what did you think of this movie?
It was different, I should say. We definitely started off with a very low budget. It was what, like 500,000?
Yeah, 500,000.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like, I just didn't get the movie. There's just so much weird stuff going on. Mm-hmm. But I will say that the writers did really well with his plans when he was going to kill people. Mm-hmm. I feel like they did really well with that. And while it was a weird movie, I don't think it was, like, as far as acting and like production and stuff, I don't think it was that bad. It was just the writing was weird to me.
Yeah, they definitely put some effort in. I think it there were some performances that were better than others.
Yes, definitely.
I didn't really like the main girl. She didn't really, compared to the husband and the son who were so fucking off the wall crazy. She just is kind of lame to me.
Yeah, she wasn't very memorable, but I mean, I don't know if she was supposed to be or not, but she didn't really, her character didn't stick out besides, the narcissism.
Yeah. I mean,
that's all we really had to go on with her.
Yeah, to kind of get into it too. She's pretty full of herself. Like, anytime her son tries to bring something up, she's like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I gotta like do this other thing."
Yeah, I have to go do my show. We'll talk about it later. And it just seems like that's kind of how it always is with them. Mm-hmm. And the son, that's when he starts acting weird. And
Boy, does he act weird.
Oh yeah.
How did they greet each other, Rachel?
They kissed on the lips.
Yeah, mother and son. They're biological mother and biological son.
Yeah, I mean, not to judge people's family dynamic, but like, I'd never kiss my dad on the lips, and he's got to be in his 20s.
Yeah, he's not a kid. He's an adult. He's a full grown adult kissing his mother on the lips.
Yeah, I mean, it was just weird, but maybe that was just, I don't know, maybe that wasn't even written. They just did it. Who knows?
I mean, I'd kiss that girl on the lips.
Really?
Yeah, she's kind of cute.
Oh, you're gonna have to disagree on that one.
This is, you can tell this movie was definitely made in 1980 because they play the same song like 5 times throughout it.
Yeah,
they really stuck to that New Year's Evil song. I think this movie kind of seemed like a advertisement for the band Shadow. I've never heard of them before, but they did full concert sets the whole time.
Oh yeah, they did. But so Michael, what was the weirdest part for you?
Fucking Derek. Derek is okay, spoiler alert for the rest of the movie going forward, but Derek is not the killer of this movie. Richard is. He is the husband that is, you don't find out till the end. But Derek is such a weirdo. Like he puts his mom's pantyhose on his head
and then pierces his ears.
I mean, then at some point he shows up in a suit with the pantyhose and glasses on, like a creep, like a weirdo.
Yeah. And it's like the whole movie you're wondering, like, what is his part in all of this? And I think it was just to show that he is a psychopath, just like his dad.
He is. I mean, at the end of the movie, he does kind of snap.
Yeah, I mean, it stops, so you don't know if he's gonna finish the job or not. But and then it turns out that Richard, who has been killing everybody this whole movie, turns out he's her husband, and he's wanting to kill her because he's got serious mommy issues. And it's like, women are bad. Women need to be punished.
Immoral.
They're immoral.
Well, and you see that in not just Richard, but you see that in Derek too.
Yes.
Derek has severe mommy issues.
Yes, he does.
I mean, I've never put my mom's pantyhose on my head and then kissed her on the lips before that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
He brought her roses too. They seemed almost kind of like lovers.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
And then he was like ripping them up.
Yeah, because she was like, she wasn't paying attention to him. And there's a point when Richard's in the elevator talking to his wife, who I cannot remember what
Blaze.
Blaze, yeah, Blaze. That's her DJ name. There's a point when he's talking to her, and he says that Derek had told him about how she acts around other men.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's to imply that she's been cheating on him, or I mean.
Yeah, but what is his definition of how she acts around other men?
Well, we don't see Derek we won't see Derek tell his mom that, or tell Richard that. They don't actually communicate at all in the movie.
No,
you never see them talk.
Yeah, which is weird because Derek takes him killing himself very hard and then is like, I will finish the job, Dad, don't worry.
Yeah, he doesn't say that out loud, but you get it from him.
Yeah.
Taking the mask that she shouldn't have been allowed to take because that's evidence, putting it on, murdering someone in an ambulance, and then driving off with his mom in the back. Somehow, this mask is wild, by the way.
Yeah, it is the creepiest mask I think I've ever seen.
Like when Richard puts it on and like does expressions, it kind of looks like the expressions you can see through the mask. It's really weird.
Yeah, I mean, they did a really good job picking out that mask, to be honest, in my opinion. But like, I don't know. Do you think that they were trying to set up for a second movie at the end, or they were just trying to imply that he was going to kill her, but they kind of ran out of budget?
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of movies, in this time period, especially, are trying to end on kind of a cliffhanger. Like,
and then just never go on.
you ever? I mean, do you remember Goosebumps? Like a lot of those books and movie or shows ended on cliffhangers. Of like
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So it's. I feel like that was kind of the thing, is that you wanted to end on a cliffhanger. I mean, the same year, Friday the 13th comes out, and it ends. I mean, I'm not going to spoil the ending for it, but it ends suddenly. And so it's like I think horror movies at this time were trying to really lean into leaving you unsettled, leaving the movie theater, like
That
it
makes sense.
not being resolved.
Yeah. Like,
So
you never know what's gonna. I mean, you kind of know what's gonna happen, but like,
you're not on edge. Like they want to give you that little bit of peace right before, and then end it on something to like get your heart racing.
yeah. And can we talk about the fact that the police were standing there around Richard's body? There was like 50 other people standing there, and Derek manages to take the mask and then hijack the ambulance because there were still people standing around the ambulance. So he hijacks the ambulance and kills the driver
I mean,
with everybody there.
they're in the middle of LA too, so they're like, this place is packed.
Yeah, like, can we just acknowledge that?
Yeah. Well, not just
that
that.
they went around all that.
Not just that. Like, how empty was LA on New Year's Eve at night?
Right, and he said that they were on Hollywood.
Oh, were they in Colorado? I thought they were in LA.
No, honey, they were in LA because they were on Hollywood Boulevard. But yeah, no, they said they were on Hollywood Boulevard, which is a huge tourist attraction.
Especially on New Year's Eve. Yeah, you'd feel like there'd be a lot of people out. I can't take credit for saying this. The YouTube channel Dead Meat said this whenever he covered it on the kill count, but he said, I don't know how the killer, we got on this tangent of watching the killer on side quests. He does seem like he's doing side quests, like when he dresses up like the pastor and then runs into the motorcyclists and then drives away and is like hide from him. It's like, what are we watching? Like,
yeah.
This guy is the most like bumbling serial killer.
Yeah, he and you can tell that he is just out of his mind because he's just doing it on a whim. He goes to the bar, he goes to the nursing home, he goes to the bar, and then I don't feel like he has like really a plan. And what was the pre-suit even about? Like, where was he going? Was he gonna go try to kill the nun that they show?
Yeah, there was a picture of a nun that he like looks at while he's in the car. I don't know if that's supposed to be his mom.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because he has mommy issues.
He does.
But wait, no, nuns can't have kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I am a little confused. We discussed this before we started recording, but I'm a little confused as to his pattern. So he kills at the very beginning of the movie this African American lady named Yuman, who is his wife's assistant. That's before the first phone call that he makes, which that voice recorder is something. It's something. It's kind of funny. But every other lady that he kills, like on midnight, is blonde. They're a blonde-haired, blue-eyed lady.
Yes.
And his wife is not blonde-haired or blue-eyed. She has red hair and dark eyes.
Right. Yeah. So he said he was going to kill someone close to her. So he already did that by killing Yvonne
At the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
yes.
at the very beginning, and then so he's already at the hotel that she's at. Then he leaves to go on his side quests to kill all these people on, New Year's Eve on each time zone. And then he goes to kill his wife. It was all over the place for me.
I think his reasoning was that he wanted to go after immoral ladies in a sense. Like, the nurse hooks up with him pretty quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Like really fast. And she Yeah. Yeah, she's only known him 10 minutes. She makes that comment, says she's only known him 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then there's the chick she picks up that he picks up in the bar.
And her friend.
Her friend tags along.
Yeah, and her friend, she was not about it at all.
No.
This poor lady, she just got killed because her friend wanted to go party. And she's like, I don't know what we're doing with this guy. He seems sketch. I'm creeped out. But
the best part about it too is that while they're driving, there's like an extended scene of them driving in the car, and he's trying to meet his deadline of killing her on time. So he's looking really out of it, like pissed off driving and stuff. And the girl in the middle seat just won't shut up. Like she's talking.
Zen.
She talks about her friend's nervous diarrhea. She talks about like everything, and he's just like,
yeah. And then when she said, you can change. You can, it's never too late to change. And I honestly thought that would maybe strike a chord in him. And he's just like, yeah, okay, like shut the fuck up. I need to kill you in like 5 minutes.
Then they park in that alley, and then he
gives the liquor store.
Yeah, at the liquor store, he gives that money to her friend to go in and get liquor. So she does, and the exchange between her and the liquor store owner is so random. Like he hands her the stuff, and he goes, he says, "Thank you. Have a happy New Year." And then she just solemnly like bows at him, and I'm like he knows that she's gonna die or something.
Right. It was the most sincere thank you I've ever heard, and it had nothing to do with anything. Just stalling for time while Richard kills her friend.
So off the cusp.
It was funny.
But yeah. So New Year's Evil is kind of your standard slasher. That we see
low budget
slasher. I will say the thing that it's got going for it that you don't see a lot is that it follows the killer the whole movie. Like it's not kind of a whodunit. Like, and he wears a mask at some points, but you see him without a mask a lot.
Mm-hmm. And he's a master of disguise.
Oh yeah, he's got that fake mustache that he wears at one point. Yeah, it's really really blended in. And then he's a priest at one point too.
Right. But no, I do agree. You don't see a lot of slasher movies where they're following the killer and you're seeing every move he makes versus the victim or the main victim, I guess, and seeing just the suspense and trauma that they're going through, or even just living their daily life. I don't know, but
yeah, the final girl.
Yeah.
Usually you're following the final girl, but we're following the killer. We're starting to see that more in movies nowadays, but this is in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of, I mentioned Friday the 13th earlier. I mean, you don't even see the killer until the very end of the movie.
Right.
It's all POV shots of stuff. So that is kind of unique, but I think that, for being a low budget 80s slasher, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen worse movies. For how off the wall it kind of got at times, I didn't hate it.
Mm-hmm. I think the thing that probably brings it down the most would probably be like the overextended scenes of like the concert. There's a lot of concert scenes in this.
Yeah. And all the drugged out mosh pitters.
Yep.
Who are acting like zombies.
Yeah, they had just taken like some like hardcore drugs and they're just like out of it.
Yeah. But
yeah, no, I think that definitely would recommend if you've never watched before, especially if it's like New Year's time. I mean, I would give it a shot.
Yeah, you're looking for a random movie.
Yeah, if you're into like off the wall kind of performances, because Derek and Richard are very off the wall, crazy guys.
Yeah, and the acting was good.
Yeah, I think they were the best parts of the movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Easily. There's some other people that I could have done without, like some of the cops I could have done without, but overall, I kind of enjoyed it. So yeah, do you have any other thoughts before we get into our rating for it's going to be?
No, I think
okay. So so I mentioned at the beginning that we're going to do this based on vacations. So we're going to try to liken our experience watching this movie to a vacation or like a getaway trip that you could think of. So I can start first
Yeah, let's start with you.
if you want. So I would liken this to a like a getaway hiking trip to somewhere that you've never been for a weekend. You don't really know what you're going to expect when you get there, but you're pleasantly surprised when you get there. You kind of enjoy it. There's some
Okay.
parts you could do without, like some of the walking, but once you get to see the beautiful sight, you're like, you know what, this wasn't half bad.
Right.
So that's kind of my take on New Year's Evil. Rachel, what is yours?
Okay, I'm actually going to relate it to a real life vacation that I
Okay.
had. This past May, me and Dallas took a trip to Virginia Beach, which was a mistake.
Dallas is her boyfriend, by the way.
Yes. And it was cold. It was rainy. We didn't get to go to the beach because the water was too dang cold. But I mean, we had a good time hanging out in the hotel room and eating good food. So like it wasn't unenjoyable. Would I do it again? Probably not.
Okay.
But it wasn't a bad time. Like we still enjoyed ourselves. But yeah, that's how I would rate it.
Okay. I respect that and I like that. Would you recommend this to your friends to watch?
Oh, I mean, knowing my friends, probably not.
Well,
But so like, say if you had never watched it before,
okay.
I would probably recommend it to you.
So to a
And like
horror
Trisha.
so to a horror fan, would you recommend this? Not to like the
To
average.
someone who isn't like a harsh movie critic, someone who isn't like they're more open minded.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It was a good experience. So
Yeah. I mean I had a good time. I think that as you'll see with our reviews of these movies, it's more about the camaraderie of hanging out, talking, and kind of making fun of these low budget bad movies. It's what really brings people together. I think that's what has the community in this hold of like, it's like, this is so dumb, but we're having fun while we watch it.
yeah, and especially because like before we started doing this, I mean, I've always loved horror movies, but like I was never really a low budget person,
Yeah.
until
Until me and your sister forced you to watch a bunch of them.
Yeah, until you guys, and I'm like, you know what, this is a good time. Like I will do this more often. But
yeah, so that's our first ever podcast of New Year's Evil. Stay tuned for next week. We are going to do 2015's The Hollow. Also a low budget movie, sci-fi movie. So
I'm excited.
Yeah,
love me some sci-fi movies.
It's gonna be an interesting time. But until then, this is the Undead Celluloid Society. I'm Michael.
I'm Rachel.
And thank you guys for listening.